Good evening, you guys. Welcome back to Talk Shop Live with Coach Salida. You guys, tonight, this is what? Motivation, midweek motivation, right? So, as you know, we have been working out of our book, or my ebook, that is. I'm trying to find my front page. oh, oh. Let me pull out my front page. I apologize. We have been working out of this ebook right here, Empowering Women's Lives, Stress Free Living, Empowering Women to Thrive in a Chaotic World, right? This is what we've been working out of. If you want a copy of this, definitely go to the website I put up here. You can click mywings.com /shop. Okay. If you want a copy of that, you can go either shop or shop dash two. It's on both of them. I don't know why I made two landing pages, but yeah. So you can go to either one of them, but I'd say shop dot two. I mean slash two. And you can definitely get a purchase of this book and my other book, which we are talking about on the Empower Her Talk show right now. And it's this one, and it's called The Melanated Woman's Playbook for Time Management and Leadership. So we're working on this book here. So I look, the teacher in me keeps me doing this, okay? And I want you guys to know every way there is for you to learn how to take care of yourself and how to be able to navigate through this craziness, what we call a world, right? So tonight we're going to if you read the description, tonight we're going to be talking about chapter 6 in the book, and this is talking about nurturing relationships, how important relationships are, how to create a support network, and we're definitely going to be talking about communicating effectively and navigating, wow, toxic relationships. And I think this is going to be awesome. And guys, I went on the rant long time ago, maybe several shows back, about toxic relationship. I actually also, and I wanted you guys to ask you if you wanted a copy of the friendship checklist for this year. Remember, I told you in 26, if it doesn't make sense, you don't need to be messing with it. That goes with your relationships and everything. If you're not making sense out of the relationship, you're not getting anything out of the relationship, maybe you need to move on to something different. Okay. So we're going to definitely get deep into this. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Um, oh, I'm going to talk about that. Before I get into that, I want to say this. We do have a webinar coming up Monday. Okay. I'm in the process of finishing it up so that I can get it out to invites. If you want to be invited to, definitely hit me up at my email address. Okay. Or just give me your email address and I can add you to my list. This is going to be my email address that you can email me if you're interested in doing, I should say presentation. Webinar is such an old word, but I'm so used to using it. I'm old school to a certain extent. But presentation. I'm gonna kind of do it a little bit different this time. I'm gonna try to. Okay. Um, So, we got February coming up. February is like knocking at the door. It's like, okay, when you gonna let me in? So I'm excited about February because February is my month. It's my mom's month. It's my month. It's my nephew's month. Um, and and my older sister month. So yeah, we're all in that February thing. Um, we just celebrated my husband's birthday, which is so exciting. My niece's birthday, she had a baby a day before her birthday, and my husband's born the day after her birthday. Isn't that crazy? So that's exciting for us. We had a great time doing that. Uh, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, tomorrow night, if you go on, let me tell you where you can go. You should be able to go to at I come on exactly at 7 p.m. Okay, Central Standard Time. Okay. And that's the Empower Her talk show. Okay. I don't do a lot of promoting and marketing myself. I told you I have issues with that. I'm learning. But I will definitely be live, okay, over there on regular television. It's going to be actually it's public access channel. And I'm excited that my show was kind of picked up again. Okay, so that's excellent. Um, I'm excited about that. But yeah, so we're doing that over there, and it's kind of the same, like it's kind of the same atmosphere, but I get to share my screen with so much stuff. So when we talk about the empowerment book, ebook, I can actually see it. You guys can see it. So if you check me out over there, you can check me out over on that channel where I can literally share the information with you guys. Okay, over here I have to go through it, and sometimes that bothers me because I really want you guys to see what I'm saying. Okay, so we're going to talk about nurturing relationships, the importance of support networks, how important it is to have a support network. Okay, having somebody. I talk about all the time about my buddies that I have. Matter of fact, one of them I hadn't heard from her since last year. She finally called me. It was like she called me out the blue, and we had a good conversation. We always got these ideas going on in our head, but it was so good to hear from her because I was like, man, I hadn't heard from her. I thought everything was, something had happened and nobody told me, right? But I was able to talk to her, so I felt better today. Today was a real good day. Um, and it made me feel better that I got a chance to talk to her. But these are, like I said, I have three main people that I have been very close to for years. And they get on me when I'm out of pocket. I get on them when they're out of pocket. And that's the relationship you need to have. Sounds great. Topic support is essential. That's exactly right, ma'am. It sure is. Um, so we have that way of very uplifting words. Just okay, thank you. So definitely understand you have to have those type of friends, and I think this is perfect for tonight. With the conversation we're gonna have. So it basically saying, moreover, support networks play a crucial role in personal development because we know how important that is. Engaging with others who are on a similar journey can inspire new perspectives and ideals, encouraging personal growth and self discovery. So, being around people who think like you or are on a journey, like you said, like you are, like they're trying to improve themselves, trying to make their lives better, and you're in that same mode in a frame of mind. So, having people to bounce ideas off of you of different things that they can do, it is awesome, right? And that's the type of people you want. You want somebody to definitely take time out and encourage you, right? Um, you want people that's going to be in place that if I call you up and I'm like, hey, this is going on, what do I need to do, what do you think I should do with this ideal, or and you have these our conversations never about 5 or 10 minutes. I can be on the phone with my friends for like 2 and 3 hours, right? If I'm not doing anything else, I can be on the phone with my friends that long because our ideals just keep going. And we're talking about everything, right? So, especially when the mode of talking about creating a business or doing a business, definitely. That is like all of our fortes. Like, yeah, okay, let's do this. So, we have these conversations, how to break it down. We do our research together, the whole 9 yards. It's almost like a little small think tank, right? So you want those people around you who can do that. Okay. So it says encouraging personal growth and self-discovery. Women can learn from each other's experiences. Yes, 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 yes. It says share strategies for overcoming obstacles and celebrate successes together. Exactly. This collaborative environment not only boosts self esteem, but also cultivates a mindset of empowerment, reinforcing belief that one is capable of achieving their goals. You want to be that person who always having a conversation to encourage people. Excuse me, because lots of times you don't even know what that person is going through. Let me say this: my friends don't share everything with me because I don't think I need to know everything. Okay, just things that we know that we have in common. Those are the kind of conversations we have. Other than that, it's not none of my business to know everything about them. Just like it's same thing for me. I don't need to know everything about, I mean, they don't need to know everything about me, but things that we actually have in common, we can talk about. Yeah, I'll say, I'll put something together. It's like, you think that will work? And they'll like, yeah, but why don't you add this on? Why don't you do this? And I love that because that's us bouncing off of each other, trying to find ways of doing stuff, right? That we're trying to be successful in, right? Whether it's business, relationships, whatever. But we have that, you have that back and forth, that conversation that you can have. And again, we do disagree with each other and we agree with each other. And sometimes, like, okay, if that's how you feel about it, okay. So we move on to something else. So you have to have those friends that'll check you too. Okay. Have friends that will check you when you're getting out of pocket. And there's no need to be upset about it. Really, you don't, right? So it says, in today's fast paced and often chaotic world, the significance of support networks cannot be overstated. It's good to have somebody to move things forward. Okay. It's so awesome to have somebody that you can really, really talk to. You don't have to get on the phone and do a lot of gossiping. I'm talking about making things different, helping things. If I call and tell my friend, well, I had a crying night last night. And they asked me, well, what was you crying about? And I break it down to them and tell them what I was crying about. And then they start asking me questions and I start asking them questions to get to the bottom of what was the crying about, right? And most of the time, you tell them, well, this time it was just like I was just feeling full. I was full, but what are you full of? And then we'll go deeper in, and they're like, well, you know what? I felt like that before. And it's like, yeah. And they'll tell me an incident or a situation where they felt that way. You know, I've had my friends call me up and say, I feel like I don't have a purpose in life, and I don't really know what I want to do. And then we get into that conversation because then that's when I put my coach hat on and I start asking those 500 questions on it. And then they like come to the end and says, well, you know what? Yeah, that's what it was. That okay. Now I get it. And then I'll wait a couple of days and I'll call them back and say, okay, well, did you do that? Did you do this? It's like, yeah, we did, and this what happened. So yeah, you need those type of people in your life, right? So it says, especially for women navigating complexity of life, these networks, whether they consist of friends, family, or professional mentors, provide a vital foundation for emotional resilience and empowerment. Because you want somebody in your corner that makes you, they don't have to, but if you trust them and you know that they're on your side, you want to hear them say something positive to you. And you need that every now and then. Let me tell you something. I'm not saying that you need this for validation. Okay, let me get that straight. I am not talking about you need your friends to validate you. I'm saying you need your friends to be there to encourage you. Okay, validation and encouragement is two different things. Okay, you're not looking for validation, you're looking for someone who is encouraging you to do something positive. Because again, like I said, it is a lonely road out there. And when you're by yourself and you don't have anybody, lots of times that's kind of hard for you, right? So that's why it's important to have a network, somebody that you can go to and talk about things to, right? It says, when challenges arise, having a group of individuals who understand and share similar experiences can make all the difference in managing stress and building confidence, right? You need that person. You know you can go ahead and do it. You do anything. You can do anything you put your mind to. That's what I love telling people. When they call me or talk to me about something, I automatically say, you can put your mind to it. You think you can do it? Then do it. Make it happen. Okay? Make it happen. You can do it. Now, what you need me for? And then think about it. I just want you just okay. I'm reassuring you. You can do it. Let me know if you need any help. I mean, I can do that. I don't have a problem with that because I want to see everybody win. Okay, I want to see everybody win. Okay, makes all the difference in managing stress and building confidence. Support networks act as safety nets, okay, allowing women to lean on one another during difficult times, exactly, fostering a sense of belonging in community. And we know how important that is, right? We definitely know how important that is. The act of sharing one's struggles and triumphs within a supportive circle also nurtures vulnerability, which is often seen as a weakness, but in fact is a powerful strength. So if you find yourself being able to be vulnerable in front of people that you trust, and I'm not talking about a bunch of strangers, I'm talking about somebody you trust, it is so rewarding. Oh, well, that's kind of, I had a, oh shoot dog, this was several years ago. I had another show I did. It was called Video Couch, and I did it on YouTube. And one of the things we talked about was crying in front of people. I talked the scenario of me being able to cry in front of my husband. I had an issue with that because we were taught not to cry, not from my mom, but in the military, you're taught how to act a certain way. Well, I still had that in my mind, and I thought it was just so shameful for a woman to cry in front of a man and a man to cry in front of a woman. I really did, and I had a hard time dealing with that. And then I had to realize they are allowed to cry no matter where they're at. They're allowed to cry. And I just had an issue with that. And I had to work that issue out with myself, right? So you want to be vulnerable around people that you feel comfortable with. Not just anybody, but people that you feel comfortable with. Okay. Um, and understand it's not nothing negative about that. It's very positive to be able to do that. Okay. Um, by opening up to others, women can dismantle the barriers that societal expectations may impose on them. Okay? Embracing their true selves, this process of vulnerability fosters deeper connections and trust, enabling women to feel safe in expressing themselves and their feelings and dealing with their fears without judgment. Now, remember, I told you on our checklist, the friendship checklist that we created, right? If you want a copy of that, send me your email and I'll get you a copy of it, right? Um, where you can use it to find, I mean, if your friends check off on this list like this, then you have good friends. If you can be vulnerable in front of your friends, then you have good friends where they're not making fun of you or talking about you to other people, right? You'll know those are your friends. Okay, you're gonna know it. If you have the right vibrational feeling, right, and you know who you are and you know who they are, you're gonna know those are your friends. And you don't need a lot of them. I'm telling you right now, you do not like need a whole bunch of friends. You only need one or two or three at the most. Okay. I'm saying that. I'm not just saying. I am just saying it. Yes, those combos grow more. Yeah, they do. That's right. Yes, they sure do. Um, I'm more of a person where I don't need a lot of. I know a lot of people, but I don't need to have. And when it comes to my personal life, I told you guys already. I have three friends that I can talk personally with outside of family. Okay. The act of sharing one's struggles and triumphs within supportive circle also nurtures. Okay, I already said that. Okay, so such openness can lead to profound healing in the development of a more robust self-image. Yes, it's all right to have the vulnerability to cry, to hug, and make people feel better. Okay, and it's so wonderful to find out that there's so many people. Hello, so many people out there who need friends like that. Okay. They just need somebody to encourage them. Okay. To say, look, you got this. I promise you, you got this. I can say it. I'm not walking in that person's shoes. I can tell them that. They have to be, it's their responsibility to understand it and take it in and say, yes, I got this. Building up the strength and having the courage to do that, it takes a lot, especially when you've been beaten down on everything, right? The boyfriend's not acting right, the cat's not acting right, the dog's not acting right, the horse is not acting right, the kid's not acting right, the honey's not acting right. It's just a lot on your plate, right? And all you just want is somebody to just say, you know what, look, you got it. Come on, we can get up this hill, right? You got it. Come on, I got your hand. That's all. Lots of times we need. We don't need you to always take us out and wine and dine us and do all. Just say, I got you. You're not doing this by yourself. You got my number. Call me if you need me, right? For instance, my a friend of mine was going to a funeral, right? And she was going to a funeral of a family member that there was some more extra stuff going on. And I just like something hit me before, and I knew she had to get up that morning because I think they either flew out or they drove. But I knew she had to get up early that morning, but something just like I could not go to sleep. So I got up and I called her and she answered. I said, you should be in the bed. And I said, I want you. I said to her, I said, be careful. I love you. Hung up the phone because it was something I needed to say to her because she was on my mind that bad that I needed to say that. And it was so good when she came back and because she called me. So I knew everything was all right. That's what you do with your friends. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying this because that no matter what she was going through, they were going to a funeral. So I wanted her to understand that because both me and her have buried a lot of people in our family in the last 2, 3 years, right? Including our mothers. So that encouragement is letting her know, you know, I know you have your family to love you and all that, but having a friend that you can, you know, you have that communication with is very important. Having that support network is very important. So I needed to tell her that. Yeah, they do. That's right, Miss Finley, they do. I needed to tell her that. I needed her to know that, I know you get ready to go to another one, right? But, you know, I'm here. If I can't do anything else, I can definitely talk you into doing something good and positive. If nothing else, if I can't you can't borrow no money from me, you can't do nothing like that. Yeah, like sometimes we be playing, and I said, now don't make me get in this car because I'll ride, and she'll just bust out laughing because I'll ride because I've done it before. I ride, not no ride or die or doing anything crazy like that. I'm just saying to come down if she need me to really support her. She knows I'll come and do that. That's the kind of friends you need. I'm not talking about fighting. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about being there to support. That's what I'm talking about. Because, like I said before, I'm not going to jail for nobody. I ain't getting arrested for nobody. And I said this year, that's what you guys need to be thinking about when it comes to friends. This, what I'm talking about, a support system, a support network, won't be doing none of that. Okay. Um, Furthermore, support networks are instrumental in combating feelings of isolation and loneliness that many women face. Again, remember I said that earlier. Yes, we'd be surprised. We would be surprised how many women don't have family or friends. We'd be surprised. There is a large amount of us that don't have any of that, right? Um, and for many reasons, right? In a world that often promotes competition over collaboration, having a group that champions one another can be a transformative experience. So having somebody who's not competing. Remember, I told you if your friends are competing with you, they're not your friends. Let me say that again. If your friends are competing with you, they're not your friends. They're not. They're your competition. There's a difference. Oh, girl, you my friend. You got a 3 bedroom house. She went and got a 5 bedroom. Not to say that she didn't want a 5 bedroom house, but she wasn't thinking about buying a house until I bought a house. Do you get what I'm saying? That's competition. You can't be my friend and my competitor too. I just don't. I don't. I mean, maybe that's how it works, but I don't want my friends to be my competition because you'll do anything to compete against me. even portray me. So why would I want you as a friend? I prefer you to be just who you are, my competition, you know? In a world that often promotes competition and collaboration over collaboration, having a group that champions one another can be a transformative experience. The encouragement and reassurance received from peers can alleviate the weight of stress, making challenges seem more manageable. Okay? This collective strength not only enhances individual well being, but also creates a ripple effect, promoting a culture of support and understanding among women. Remember, I told you guys, I don't know if it's on this show because I talk on all kinds of shows, and I talk, good evening, sweetie, um, and a lot of shows. Remember, I told you, I don't know if I told you guys this, but remember, I told you about I was in a group um, at the VA. It was actually a mental health group, and women come together. We came together as a group, and we would sit around and really discuss. And I told you I found some associates and people that peers that I talked to outside of the VA that now are friends of mine on Facebook because of how we bonded. What did we bond over? We bond over our trauma. That's how we bonded. Trauma bonding, I guess that's what they call it. But we all had one or two things that were going on that created us to be able to become a group and actually interact with each other. We just didn't come there and sit and look at each other. We literally talked, interact with each other. We talked about our problems and our situations, and we encouraged each other. And it was like, I can't wait to come to our next one. These people were, I mean, these young ladies, women, were like, I can't wait to come to my next one. I wish we could do this more than once a week or once every 2 weeks. There was a bonding. And I don't necessarily say it was just the trauma itself, but the outcome of the trauma. What happened after the trauma? How are we healing on an everyday basis after the trauma? And that's where we became like that one together because we all was helping each other. We all was helping each other in the sense, okay, you're going through that. And I mean, we had some crying times. Sometimes those women would come in there and they would cry. And you didn't sit back and look at them and talk about them. You were like amazed because you know you're in your trouble, you're in your situation, and you have no idea what other people are going through. That's why it's good to hear other people's stories. And I love to hear other people's stories because it gives you a sense of, you know what? I feel bad. I even said something because their situation is worse than mine. I'm crying and complaining about this. Look at what they're going through. They're living in a shelter. She might get her kid taken away. She's being, abused. And I'm whining about the color car that I didn't get, that I wanted. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's true, but I'm just saying. So sometimes it's good to hear other people's stories. It's good for, and then it's good for them to be able to share their stories with you. Okay. So, um, okay. So this collective strength not only enhances individual well-being, but it also creates a ripple effect, promoting a culture of support and understanding among women. Right? So, in conclusion on that one, is cultivating and maintaining support networks is essential for women striving for fulfilling a balanced life, having those friends around you and knowing how to deal with your friends, right? These connections serve as a pillar of strength in times of adversity, foster personal and professional growth, and creates a sense of community that is vital for mental health. I love talking about that. By recognizing the importance of these networks, women can empower themselves and each other, paving the way for a more confident and resilient future. Okay? So, communicating effectively. Effective communication is valid and it's a vital skill for women navigating the complexity of modern life. It empowers them to express their thoughts and feelings confidently while fostering deeper connections with others. So once you know how to communicate with other people, right? It's easier for you to actually, if you have something you want to get off your chest, something you want to talk about, it's easy for you to do that, right? By mastering the art of communication, women can significantly enhance their self esteem and assertiveness, making it easier to articulate their needs and desires in both personal and their professional environments. Now, listening is just a crucial listening is just as crucial as speaking when it comes to effective communication. We talked about, I think a long, long time ago, we talked about active listening, right? Really hearing, not listening to respond, but listening um, to understand. Okay, listening to understand, not to always create an answer to something, because sometimes they're not, some people just want to vent. They don't really have, they really don't want an answer. They just want to vent. They just want to get something off their chest. And sometimes if you don't know the difference in what they're saying and what they're like, if you're telling them something and you're kind of wanting to help them out, if they don't want that help, they're going to let you know they don't want that help. And so you just sit there and listen. Don't get mad about it. They just want to be able to get all that out. So you have to be that person to be able to do that, and vice versa, right? Women often find themselves in roles where they are expected to support and nurture others, which can sometimes lead to neglecting their own voices. By practicing active listening, women can create a safe space for dialogue, ensuring that their own perspectives are valued and heard. Yes, yes, yes. This two-way interaction not only builds confidence, but it also encourages mutual respect and understanding. Nonverbal communication also plays a pivotal role in how messages are conveyed and received. Body words, body language, body language, facial expressions, and eye contact are powerful tools that can reinforce or undermine someone's spoken words. Let me say that again. Or reinforce or undermine spoken words. Because sometimes you can be talking to people and they're looking away or they're looking up. So are they really paying attention? Are they really hearing what you say? Now, I know some people who can look away and hear every word you say, right? But it's more comfortable if you look me in the face and talk to me, right? And know that I'm sitting up straight and I'm listening to you, right? I don't have my arms folded because that right there proves that you're standoffish. You're not really caring what I'm saying, what you're saying. I'm not caring what you're saying. Or I'm looking away and I'm fiddling with my fingers while you talk. I'm doing everything but actually looking at you and listening to what's coming out your mouth so that I can actually understand where you're coming from. So if there's a need for me to speak up, I know exactly how to speak up and what I need to say, right? So that's very important. By practicing active listening, women can create a safe space for dialogue, ensuring that their own perspectives are valued and heard. This two-way interaction not only builds confidence, but also encourages mutual respect and understanding. So you'll be able to go back and forth with that person, right? If they want you to answer, if they have a question and did you want me to answer that? And then you repeat the question and then, yeah, okay. And then you answer it, give them an explanation or whatever, right? That gives them um, a leeway to understand that, hey, yeah, you hear what I'm saying. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying, right? And you feel that person feels confidence to continue with the conversation. They don't feel out of place, right? They're starting to kind of let their guard down and be relaxed with you and actually share with you. So if that is a need for you to help them, you can help them, right? Um, the heightened. Okay, now, okay, let me make sure. Body language, facial expressions, and eye contact are powerful tools that can reinforce or undermine spoken words. Women can benefit from being aware of their nonverbal cues and using them to project confidence and openness. That's why I said you don't sit here and listen to somebody talk like this. If someone's talking to you and you guys are having a back and forth, you sit up and you look them in the face. So you're understanding what they're saying, okay? And it's going in. And when they're ready for you to make a comment or whatever, then you can do it, right? So you're that back and forth, okay? You say one thing and they say something, and you guys are going back and forth. So they understand you get what I'm saying, right? You heard my story, and I'm asking for um, your opinion on this story I'm telling, right? So this is my opinion. So did this happen? How did you handle this? And you start asking questions or just commenting, okay? Let them know that you are very much so interested in what they're saying. And it comes in the body language. Are you sitting straight up? Are you slouching? Are you chilling? Are you playing with your fingers? No, you need to sit up and look them in the face and talk to them, okay? In stressful situations, effective communication becomes even more essential. It allows women to express their feelings and set boundaries clearly, which is vital for stress management. So you need that, right? By articulating their thoughts calmly and assertively, they can navigate conflicts and misunderstandings with greater ease. This proactive approach not only alleviates stress, but it also reinforces confidence in handling challenging situations and conversations when conversations come to the point where they're challenging. Finally, practicing effective communication is a lifelong journey that requires patience and dedication, right? Women can enhance their skills through workshops, coaching, or simply by engaging in conversation with diverse individuals. By continuously refining their communication abilities, women not only improve their relationships, but also empower themselves to thrive amidst the chaos of life. Embracing this journey can lead to remarkable personal growth and a profound sense of self worth. So once you learn how to communicate with people on all levels, okay, and in a diverse, um, sometimes we call it code switching, right? And I think we talked about this. Um, it's easy once you got your communication skills up. I never thought in a million years, and I'm talking about me because I have to talk about me. I never thought I would be a communication person because I used to didn't like to talk. But I found out that I do have a niche for talking and communicating and understanding. All through high school and college, I took speech classes, not speech and talking speech, but speech and giving speeches, public speaking, and all that. I did all that, right? So I learned a lot of my communication skills through these classes. Now, not to say that I know how to talk already, but those classes enhanced that for me. Okay, that enhanced that for me. So I took debate. I did all of those things. So all of those things were tools and resources that I used to make my communication better. So I can basically kind of communicate with anybody, anywhere. And that's what you have to do. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes people are just naturally good communicators, right? But I wanted to enhance mine. If I felt that I was that, I would still get the just for my security. I would get learn more. Public speaking, speech one, two, three, and four. Communications is another class I took. So all those things had something. I was in the thespian club, not lesbian club, thespian. That's theater. I did theater. Um, oh gosh, uh, I was on a debate team. So I'm just telling you, all these things help me with my communications to make me better when I communicate with people. Um, and I'm not saying everybody got to do it. Okay. I'm not saying, oh, I got to go take a, no, I'm just saying take your time. And if you can learn on your own how to communicate with people and it works for you, then it works for you. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I'm just letting you know that. By continuously refining their communication abilities, women not only improve their relationships, but they also empower themselves to thrive amidst the chaos of life. Embracing this journey can lead to remarkable personal growth and a profound sense of self worth. You feel good when you've had a long conversation with someone and you come out of that conversation like, man, I learned a lot today. But they also learned a lot from me. And you can say that. And that to me, that is an awesome feeling, right? Now, we're going to talk about toxic relationships. And we did this, I mean, about what, 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, we talked about toxic relationship. We went deep. That's where we created the friendship checklist from. And again, if you want a copy of the friendship checklist, send me your email and I will give you the copy of it. I will get it to you. Okay. So, navigating toxic relationships. What do we think a toxic relationship is? So to you, tell me what you think a toxic relationship is. What does it consist of? Anybody? Miss Dixon, Miss Finley, can y'all give me a definition of a toxic relationship? Mr. Clark, anybody? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, didn't get no feedback. Okay, gotcha. Okay. So navigating a toxic relationship can be one of the most challenging. Okay. She said, okay, you said physical and mental harm. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Um, and Lucy says replacing you in a bad situation. Okay, great, 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 great. Awesome, awesome. Um, in most challenging aspects of personal development, yet it is essential for women seeking to build confidence and enhance self-esteem. Toxic relationships often drain energy and undermine self worth. What did I tell you guys? Didn't I tell you that before? How you have to be careful about your energy, having the wrong people around you. Remember, I told you about every time you get with your friend, y'all are in fights. You're supposed to be going out having a good time, and you wind up getting in fights. She said, she ain't give us no time. You got to be quick on your draw. You got to be quick, quick. No, I'm just kidding. um, so you have to think about it like this. Remember, I said everywhere you go with this friend always got you doing something. You're always fighting somebody. You went to go out to have a good time, and you're always fighting somebody. You never go home with all your stuff. You lose jewelry, lose weave, you just lose shoes, you lose everything because every time you go with this person, it's drama. You need to run from that friend. That is not a good friend. Or you getting bailed out of jail because now y'all got in a fight and the cops got involved. And you gotta remember those type. What I tell you, 2026. What? Yeah, can't do it, right? And that's the type of relationships I'm talking about. When we talk toxic, right? It does take away from your energy. It makes it crucial to recognize the signs early on. Know when a person is toxic, whether it's a friend, family member, or partner. Understanding how these dynamics affect mental health. Oh my God, yes. It is the first step toward reclaiming your power and fostering a more positive life environment. Yes, yes, yes. Being around a person who just literally always complains is a first thing. If you have a friend that excuse me, her whole life is drama after drama after drama. You guys run. You heard of the word energy vampires, right? You've heard people say that. A toxic relationship, a toxic friend, a toxic family member is one of those. You're not obligated to set your life up with someone who is not benefiting you. I told you guys that before. If they're not bringing good things into your life, they you don't need them in your life. And I said I don't care who it is. I'm serious. If they're not, and you don't have to be nasty to them, you don't have to get in a fight with them, you don't have to do none of that. You bring my energy level down. You low vibrate. I can't do this. I cannot be drained of my energy. So I cannot have a friendship with you unless you're willing to change. Until you're willing to change, I cannot hang out with you. You got to have that boldness in you to say that. You have to have that assertiveness in you to say that to them. Oh, you think you're better than me? Maybe at this moment I am. That might be a possibility. Don't back down. Don't make yourself don't let them guilt you or gaslight you into continuing this terrible energy draining relationship. Your time and your energy is very important, right? Those things are very, very important to you. And it should, if it's not, it should be. Run from those type of people. Okay. Now, to identify a toxic relationship, one must look for patterns of manipulation, wow, criticism, wow, or emotional unavailability. Okay. These behaviors can manifest in subtle ways, often disguised as concern or affection. Oh my God. Now, if I really did need that, that dress, yeah, I need that dress. Yeah. Well, I'm only going to wear it once. Well, you let Sarah wear it. Why can't I wear it? So it's like that. I thought me and you were friends. I thought me and you was the girls. Now I can't wear the dress. You're not going to let me borrow the dress. Okay. See, I was just thinking, that guy you dating? Well, he was talking to Brenda the other night. What that got to do with something? What that got to do with you wanting to borrow a dress from me that I said I don't want to let you borrow? Do you see what I'm saying? Where did that come from? Well, anyway, I didn't really like it. I just wanted to see if he was going to let me wear it. Okay. When friends sneakily say certain things to you, those are not your friends. That's your competition. Okay. Now, when she asked for the dress, whether she would wanted it or not, she asked for it. She must have liked it. It must have been of her taste. And when you told her that you're not going to let her borrow the dress, now she got an issue with it. Now she's criticizing. Okay. Now she's trying to do some manipulation, right? That's not a friend. That's competition. Okay. These behaviors can manifest in subtle ways, often disguised as concern or affection. It's vital to trust your instincts and acknowledge feelings or discomfort or anxiety that arises in these interactions, right? Remember, a healthy relationship should uplift, and support you, not leave you feeling diminished or insecure. Mm, yes, that's haters, not friends. That's right. Once you recognize a toxic dynamic, setting boundaries is essential. Run. You don't need to set no boundaries if they're not there. Run. Okay. Communicating your needs and limits can be empowering, allowing you to create a space where respect and understanding flourish. That means don't be looking for them to respect you because they're not. And I think this toxic relationship is basically sounds more like man and woman or woman and man opposed to what I'm saying. That's what I'm kind of getting out of this now. Okay. Um, it's important to be assertive and clear about what behaviors are unacceptable. I'm not going to accept you talking to me in a disrespectful way. So The question is, what do you consider disrespectful? For one thing, you called me the B word. Oh, that's an endearment. No, it's not. Mm-mm. Friends don't call each other the B word. True friends. Because you're not a dog and I'm not a dog. I don't know how to wag a tail because I don't have a tail to wag. And I don't walk on all four. And you don't either. So there's no need for me to call you that word. You see what I'm saying? Okay. And I know that's the new way women talk to each other. I hear it all the time. I hear it on social media. But I said this and I meant that from the bottom of my heart. Me and my friends don't talk to each other like that at all. I call them by their name, they call me by my name. We don't talk to each other like that. I'm not just saying this on here, I'm saying it for real. And my friends will tell you the same thing. We don't talk to each other like that at all. We don't use that kind of language. No. And especially, some people say, well, that's just like an endearment. No, that's not an endearing word. An endearing word is honey, baby, sweetie, pumpkin. Those are endearing words. The B word is not. I'm just saying. Okay. I don't find nothing endearing in being called that. Okay. And I wouldn't call any associates that I know, people I know, Miss Dixon, Miss Finley, Miss Bell, the people that I talk to, I wouldn't call them that word either. What's the purpose of that? Because I know that's not what they are. And I respect them enough to never even step over that line. Even if they say I could do it, I still wouldn't call them out of their name because that's not what their mom and dad named them. They have names. And like I said, the kind of endearments I use are sweetie, pumpkin, honey, um, baby. Sometimes I use that. And some people might find those offensive. Believe it or not, some people find those words offensive. But I think they're endearing, but that's just my opinion. And if someone says, please don't call me that, then I'm going to respectfully step back and say, okay, I apologize. But that's how I talk. It's a younger thing. I feel like, especially while gossiping, I get your POV though. Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, exactly. And I get that. I get that. But I will definitely say something if that's what you call me, and I tell them I don't walk on. My ears are right here. They're not sitting on the top of my head, and I don't have a tail. Right? I don't have a little tail that wags back and forth, and I definitely don't have paws. I have real hands. So I wouldn't appreciate someone calling me a bitch. Okay. So let's see here. Important to be assertive and clear about what behaviors are unacceptable. Okay. This may initially lead to a pushback from the other party. hmm But standing firm in your boundaries, okay, is a testament to your commitment to self care and self respect. Back off. If I said what I said, back off. I'm putting boundaries in place. I already told you. I realize that you're not a good friend. I realize that you're competing with me instead of being my friend in the sense that I'm thinking you're supposed to be my friend. You don't have to compete with me. What's yours is yours. What's mine is mine. There's plenty of room for everybody to get something. So you don't have to compete with me. I think you're a draining friend. I think you're a vampire. You drain me of my energy because you're so toxic and you're so negative. And I can't do negative. I don't want to do negative. Excuse me, my nose itchy. I don't want to be in that mindset where I'm being all the negativity. So I'm gonna leave you where you're at and I'm going over here. Sometimes you have to do that. And that's all right if people don't get that. They can be mad, they can cuss you out, they can talk about you, let them do all that because that's what they're going to do anyway. That's what they've been doing. You just realizing it. They've been talking about you behind your back to your enemy, right? Yeah, to your enemy. They've been talking about you to your enemy, right? So you leave them where they at. I definitely don't do people older than me. Absolutely not. That's right. Um, so in some cases, it may become necessary to distance yourself from toxic individuals altogether. Walk away. Miss Dixon said, walk away. Walk away. Right? This decision can be daunting because it does, especially if you've been a friend to somebody for a long period of time. I've had friends that I've been friends with for a long period of time, and you just have to walk away. This relationship is not working, right? And you just have to work. And you know what? It's all right if someone walks away from me. If they feel that I'm toxic, it's all right to walk away. And if you thought that it was, and if you thought it was all right to say to me why you won't deal with me anymore, I'm cool with that. Why would I get mad and then go start talking about you to somebody else? What purpose is that? Because that's your personal decision. And if anything, I should respect that, right? That you no longer want to be around me, that you no longer want to have anything to do with me. I should be able to, as a woman and as an adult, I should be able to say, okay, I understand now and move on. Not get mad and want to fight you because you no longer want to be my friend. That doesn't make any sense, but that's what we do because a lot of us do not have emotional intelligence. A lot of us do not know how to handle rejection. Can I say that again? Lots of us do not know how to, we don't have emotional intelligence and we don't know how to handle rejection because we feel like we get rejected from the man. Now we're getting rejected from we're getting rejected from our friends or what we thought was friends. But all the time I wasn't your friend. I was competing with you. And then I was talking about you behind your back with people that you don't even associate yourself with. Because another thing we don't know is we don't know how to be loyal. We lack loyalty. We lack that skill of being loyal to real friends. And that's why it's so easy for you to talk about me or me talk about you behind your back because I'm not loyal to you. And you know what? Some people are bold enough to tell you that. Well, then why are you trying to be my friend if you're not even going to be loyal to me and I'm being loyal to you? Do you get that? You see how it doesn't work? It's uneven, it's not balanced. Friends are balanced, harmonized, they synchronize together. That's what friends do. They're together. They don't talk about you behind your back to people that you don't even deal with. I don't like you because she don't like you. Me and you have never interacted, right? But I don't like you because she don't like you. There's no loyalty. And we think we only supposed to be loyal to our family and we only supposed to be loyal to our men and our women in our lives. No, you loyal to your friends too. And when that loyalty starts to fade away, that's not a friendship anymore. And we lack three things I just named. We lack, and that can hurt us. That can truly hurt us, especially when you're trying to be in a relationship where you need that friendship, you need that support network, right? You need that clear communication, right? You need those things, especially if you're on a journey to make your life better, right? And that's what we lack sometimes. And we don't want to learn it. We don't want to take time out and learn it. It's whatever's in my mind. It's what I say. No, it's not like that because it's not about you. When you get other people involved in your life, it's not about you anymore. You have to take in consideration. And some of us do have issues with taking in consideration other people's thoughts and feelings. We do. Yeah, we do. Okay. So this may initially lead to pushback from the other party, but standing firm in your boundaries is a testament to your commitment to self care and self respect. You have to do that for yourself. In some cases, it may become necessary to distance yourself from toxic individuals altogether. This decision can be daunting, but prioritizing your well-being is paramount. Understanding why you're doing it. Okay? If you can explain to yourself why you're doing it and you understand it and you really like this is about me. The end result is how is it making me feel being around this person who does not have any respect for me or do not understand my self-worth, right? Surrounding yourself with positive influences and supportive relationships can significantly enhance your self esteem and resilience. Remember, it's perfectly accepted to let go of connections that no longer serve your growth and your happiness. Let me explain that again. Let me say that again, because that's what we were talking about 3 or 4 weeks ago when we talked about this. Exactly this. It's perfectly, excuse me, remember, it's perfectly acceptable to let go of connections that no longer serve your growth and happiness. So if you have people in your life that you feel are draining you mentally, emotionally, and physically, draining you, and they're competing with you, they're not your friends, and you have to make a decision whether or not you're going to continue to allow them to do those things to you. Okay. Ultimately, navigating toxic relationships is a journey towards self discovery and empowerment. By learning to identify, address, and remove toxic influences from your life, you pave the way for a healthier, oh, excuse me, for healthier interactions. Embracing this process not only boosts your confidence, but it also reinforces your ability to thrive in a chaotic world. As you cultivate a supportive network, you will find the strength to flourish and inspire others to do the same. So if you're in a group of women who definitely, or people in general that have that, and they, or they've told you that they have friends that are toxic, and they see how you interact and how you handled your toxic situations, is going to encourage them to get out their relationships that they're in that is not benefiting them. Okay? It's going to show them if I did it, you can do it too. Take your time, don't rush, but literally take their phone, take their number out of your phone. Stop emailing them, stop sending them, get them off your friend request. If you're on any type of social media platform, unfriend them. Okay? Don't give them any leeway once you've made that decision for them to be able to communicate with you. Cut it all off. When you walk away, cut it all off. You don't owe anybody any explanation about anything you do. You're an adult. You explain stuff to children, or children explain to you. If they're the adult and you're the child, yes, and your adult person asked you a question and they want you to explain it, then explain it to them. But you're not a child, so you don't owe anybody an explanation. You decided that you wanted to grow and you wanted to go in another direction. Don't men say that all the time? When they want to break up with you, what's the first thing they say? They say something like that, right? So you get used to saying it to people who are not benefiting you. It is not hard, but it is to a certain extent because you really don't want to hurt that person's feelings. But if you tell them, if they're worthy of you telling, because everybody ain't worthy for no explanation. Like I just said, you don't have to look to close the book, right? You don't have to close that chapter in your life yourself. Just walk. Sometimes you just need to walk away, because if you try to close it, they'll put their foot in the door, right? But you tell them, I am not growing with you. You're not. You don't talk positive stuff, right? We don't have conversations where we're growing from each other. It's always a bunch of gossip. It's a bunch of talking about somebody fighting, who's sleeping with somebody's husband, where somebody's sleeping, where they, what kind of car they got. We're talking about all of that. None of that is growth for me. So I don't see this relationship going anywhere. You're not growing with me. You're not trying to elevate yourself. You're staying right here because it's comfortable for you. You like all this mess. You thrive in mess. I don't want to thrive in mess because I know it's something better out there for me. See, that's why it's harder to be good than it is to be bad. It's easy to be bad, right? It's comfortable to be bad. It's uncomfortable when you start trying to do things good. And everybody doesn't want to see you do good. That's why you have to cut people off, because they will sabotage your greatness. Yeah, it's people out there waiting to sabotage your greatness, especially if they're former friends. So you have to figure out how you're going to cut that person off. I'm just saying. Okay, so we just finished chapter 6, which to me I think was great. Again, if you want a copy of this book, I put my my emails. I put my website in here in the chat, that you can go look in the website, go to the shop page, and definitely purchase this ebook and the other ebook I have, which is called Empowerment, a playbook for time management, for melanated women. If you want a copy of that, because I'm talking about that on my other show. Okay. Um, Very good. Very good. Chapter 7 is embracing change and uncertainty. The benefits of flexibility. I love being flexible, being able to stretch and move things around and adapt to different situations. That's wonderful. Okay, so we'll be talking about that on our next episode. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here on Midweek Motivation on Talk Shop Live. So thank you guys. Thank you, Miss Finley. Thank you, Miss Dixon. Thank you, Mr. Clark. I think it was Linnell Clark. I'm sorry. Um, thank you for hanging out with us again. You can go back and watch our other show. You can go back to the other chapters that we've already done. I think this has 11 chapters in it, I think. So yeah. So if, like I said, if you want a copy of the book, definitely go to our website. If you want to be part of our presentation, our first Monday of every month presentation, I got to give it a real big name. I got to give it a name. Definitely hit me up and I can get you an invitation to the webinar or the presentation. Webinar is such an old word. Presentation. All right. So I got to go get prepped for my other show I do, which is where I don't act so dignified. Okay. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. You guys have a great evening. Bye. I got to get me some music, y'all.